think Ramadan's just an important time for all Muslims. It's one of the 5 pillars of Islam, along with the profession of faith, the 5 daily prayers, giving charity, and a pilgrimage to Mecca. It's a time for me to strengthen my connection with God. It's a time where I reflect and I try and do as many prayers as possible, go to the mosque, give charity, and rewards tend to give more favour during that period of time as well.
The month of Ramadan changes every single year because the Islamic calendar is actually 11 days shorter than the Gregorian calendar, meaning Ramadan goes back 11 days each year.
My favourite thing about Ramadan is when we break the fast, which is called iftar. And that's my favourite part because it's a time that your whole family gets together, you sit around the table and you get to eat food that you never get to eat for the rest of the year. And nobody judges you for eating too much.
Oh, I love Ramadan. Most of Ramadan, it gives us a chance as a family to get together. Okay, at least once a day. That times with all of us, and we also times we do a lot more, Muslims do a lot more worshipping, and also family togetherness and kindness and connection with the family. That's what I like about Ramadan.
What I particularly like about it is that in our day-to-day life and our routines, there's constant distractions and constant things that kind of can take your mind and your soul away from your faith. And Ramadan provides you with an opportunity to be really dedicated into ensuring you're kind of filling up on that spirituality, which sadly sometimes can get lost in day-to-day life.
When everyone is there for breakfast and dinner, because usually that doesn't happen because everyone leaves at different times. So when everyone's there eating sahri together and having iftar together, that just makes it that extra special. We have that time together.
Obviously it's a time where to strengthen my connection with God, and it's a time for me to reflect as well. But I think what I like the most about it is just spending time with family and getting together and breaking my fast. I think that's probably the most important aspect of it.
I really enjoy family getting together, but what I enjoy more than that is samosas.
I get to spend time with my family and I get time to think as well and reflect on the previous year.
I really do like getting up like early morning, so we get up for something called suhoor in the morning. Me and my sister will get up, we'll make a breakfast. Most of the time people will pray as well. I also really enjoy the breaking of the fast, like when you get together with your family and you have a nice meal, and I think you start to appreciate those that time together with your family more.
It just brings together your family, because when you break your fast after sunset, you all get together for one meal, whereas the usual day you just eat it randomly. So I feel like you get a lot more closer with your family, and it's just a time to like reflect and just get closer to God.
I enjoy Tarawih prayer, which is a prayer at the end of the day, which we don't usually do throughout the year, which is an extended prayer. And the reason I like it is because it's more time for you to be able to connect with God and spend time with your family, praying and gaining spirituality. So I really enjoy that.
I would say I like the whole getting together as a family. So during Ramadan, we don't usually get the chance outside of Ramadan to really come together where all of us eat at the same time. So like in terms of like my culture and stuff, we don't do that as often, but Ramadan is like that every single day. What I also like, I think it's quite easy to sort of get busy with other things and sort of forget about like certain responsibilities in your religion, and I think Ramadan just gives me that opportunity to sort of reconnect with the sort of like spiritual side of my religion, and I get to sort of spend less time doing things that I would do all the other days, playing game, watching TV, all of that Netflix, PS4, just all of the binge watching that we usually do. And I sort of just put that aside for the month, and I do a lot more things like reading Quran, a lot more time in prayer, giving charity, just looking at good actions to do. And I think that's one of the key points of Ramadan as well.
Then the spiritual side of it is a training course. It's not only food, that's the physical thing, but it's you fast off your tongue as well. So not backbiting. So you are updating your manners.
I only find the first day of fasting challenging because you're like not used to, you can't drink tea, you can't drink coffee like you normally would. Obviously not drinking water, you start to get a bit of a headache. But after the first day, I usually I'm fine fasting. I think it's because you know there's a purpose and there's a reason why you're doing it.
For me, definitely sleep. You don't sleep for 2/3 of the night, which is a lot, and then you wake up early in the morning and you come to work. It's so hard. It's the timing and the effort that you have to put in there.
Okay, so my biggest challenge is probably feeling a bit hungry. I don't know, but when you guys don't eat on time, don't you just get a little bit like, I don't know, I just get a bit frustrated. And so I think that's definitely my biggest challenge, is feeling frustrated and like, come on, don't you understand? I can't eat right now. Just take it easy. But yeah, but you get used to that, so it's fine.
I think one of the biggest challenges I face personally is like just your sleep, because you wake up in the night to eat and then you have to go about your normal day. It's not like the whole world is fasting with you, so you have to come to work. I still have to teach, get up early in the morning, and then I have to wake up in the night to eat as well. So I feel like that's what the biggest challenge is, just getting on with my day to day, but also fasting at the same time.
The word Ramadan comes from the root verb, which is Ramadan. Is a verbal noun. So if I talk about the root verb here, Ramadan means being thirsty. You get very thirsty, especially in hot weather. When it was made compulsory on Muslims, in the first time, it was on a very hot day. Okay, so, and the word came from that.
Like much of Islam, there aren't actually that many key differences in the core beliefs between Sunni and Shias. So in terms of Ramadan, the beliefs, the practices are almost exactly the same. One of the key things which is slightly different is Sunni Muslims will break fast once the sun has set, once the sun has gone down. In Shia Islam, we fast a little bit longer. We wait for every single ray of light completely to disappear from the sky. So when it is complete darkness, we'll break fast. But everything else is exactly the same. We just break fast a little bit later.
Iftar in my house, we like to stick to our Prophet, peace be upon him's tradition, which is breaking fast with dates and water. I like to have breakfast type of food, so I'd go for maybe eggs, some tuna or things like that. So that's what it looks like in my house.
When I was younger, Iftar would be pretty much my brothers and sisters and my parents, and it would be like that every day. I'd come back from school and it would almost be time for Iftar. We'd have a variety of food. And then as I got older, so I got married, I've got kids now, we still get together and we still like to go to like my mum's house or my wife's mum's house. And it's a lot more bigger now. So it's just like a much bigger family, but we still have all of that variety of food. Different family members would bring different things. So that's why I'm saying, that's what I really love about the whole different variety of Iftar and everybody getting together.
So it's not just about refraining from eating and drinking. The whole point why Muslims are refraining is because they're trying to avoid all the distractions within daily life so they can focus on developing their spirituality and their relationship with Allah. So there are certain things we have to be very mindful of, particularly in our behaviour with other people and toward other people. So we can't use bad language, we can't swear, we can't be gossiping or backbiting about people. All those things have to be avoided.
Ramadan itself, as far as I'm aware, it's like a big thing in Muslim countries. So they would, some countries would pretty much reduce the amount you work during that month. And then at the end of Ramadan, you'd have a big celebration. So that'd be like a proper big thing. I think it's like the way you got Christmas over here and all of that. I've got family members in Yemen and like the UAE, Dubai, and they tell me on Eid, everybody goes out onto the streets and they just sort of everybody's celebrating together. And the festival really lasts for 3 days. But yeah, I know that it's a proper national holiday across all them other countries.
How do you guys fast for 30 days without eating and drinking?
You serious?
30 days with no food or water. You'd probably die. Come on.
We do eat early in the morning and then after sunset. We don't just not eat at all for 30 days.
But when it comes time to breaking your fast, it's amazing.
You're not allowed to chew chewing gum. I know some people say although you don't swallow it and it doesn't get digested, still the fluids from the chewing gum do go down to your stomach. For example, like medicine, if you have to take medicine, you don't have to fast. That's another misconception because you're exempt from that situation because it's a medical condition and God understands that, of course.
At the end of Ramadan, we have a big celebration called Eid al-Fitr. This means to break fast. You get given money, presents. It's basically a little bit like Christmas, but the Muslim version.
After the 30 days of fasting, we celebrate Eid, so that's just a big celebration. Obviously, it will be a little different now due to COVID, I'm sure, but it's just a time you go to the mosque, see your family and friends, get presents, and also afterwards, in the long run, all the little habits that you form during Ramadan, you'd hope to implement them to your everyday life. So whether that's you just praying on time, or just being a better person, reading Quran, or just being more aware with your community, like charity work, just bringing those little stuff you did during Ramadan. Because you know how they say within 21 days you form a habit, so that's a whole month of you doing those habits so you can implement them to your everyday life.
Ramadan Mubarak. Ramadan Mubarak. Ramadan Mubarak.